Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took inside the Discord today, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So this is what we looked like today. Off of open, the market was bearish because this 30-minute chart here did cross on the puts. So 10's above the 50 today. The market was bearish. My focus was only on shorts, and we're going to go through what we did today. So I actually ended up taking a loss today off of open. Like 10 minutes in, took a short. I'll go over why I took it. But yeah, we pulled up the 0-day chart right here. This is what the 582 puts. So I ended up buying this 50 dip here at, I actually got in 940. I did get an early entry on this. I actually bought on this candle because I really didn't think we were going to come all the way down here. I was kind of just scaling in, and I bought right here. It started to bounce, and yeah, I was in at 940, and we got like probably like a 40-point bounce before it ended up reversing. So it chopped around this 10 SMA for quite some time, and once it started stalling, I did have a feeling it was going to break lower and go to the 50, which it did. But you know, that's the risk of taking this trade off the open like that. It was only 10 minutes in. You know, we're open already crossed, so it kind of gives a little bit higher risk. Since we're not playing the cross and then the 50 dip, we're just buying this dip here off of the open after it's already been crossed for some time. But you know, I knew the risk going into it. We went short here, and I took like a 70-point loss. It was actually a bigger loss for me. I just really liked what the higher time frames looked like on the calls, or not the call side, the put side. So 30-minute, like I said, right off open, we were, where were we? We were right here. The 10 SMA was sloped up super hard, and if you go to the hourly time frame, we were crossing here on the 1 hour, as you can see, right off of open, which was what candle was it? Right in this area. We are, you know, it had a good look to it. Above the 10, the 50, it was crossing, and yeah, I like the look of it. So I took a shot, got stopped out. You know, it is what it is. That was like the only trade really the system gave. You know, there were some other little trades you could have taken, but like high quality trades, I'd say that, you know, the best trade to look for today was that cross, which we never got. If we go back to the puts, let me go to the call side real quick. So right here, not the worst trade in the world that you could have taken right here. So we ended up popping above this 50 SMA, and then coming back below the 50 and the 10 right here. We ended up closing below it. You could have taken a low risk short right here because we did break below the 10, the 50 again. The market's trending bearish, so you know your risk on this is super tight. I mean, these contracts are at like what, 157, the 50's at like 170, so you know that's probably like 20-25 points of risk on NQ if we did pop back above the 50 and get a closure above it. So if you wanted to, that was a trade opportunity. If you're looking for like the best possible setups, then just look for the 0-day cross on the put side, which we never got. We ended up getting this little cross here on the call side, which did obviously net some points, but definitely not the best trade in the world when it comes to looking at the overall trend, because we were trending bearish, and at the time we were sitting right around the 50 SMA down in here. Where was it? Yeah, so in the afternoon we were sitting right at this 50 SMA here on the 30-minute, so it was a key pivot for puts. The calls did cross, higher risk type of trade. Best thing to do was just sit out of that and, you know, just wait for the put cross, which never came. So going into tomorrow, obviously market's still bearish. We're going to be getting new contracts tomorrow since it is Friday. The current ones would be 0-day charts, so you know we always pick next week's contracts on Fridays, the next Friday contract. So what those look like are pretty bearish. I mean, this chart right here is super bearish. 10's above the 50. We closed right at the 50 SMA and got this strong bounce in a close. The 50's up, and I think the 1 hour is crossing as well. So my bias is to the downside unless we get a pretty big gap up in that. You know, we cross negative on this 30-minute chart. But until that happens, I favor the downside just with how this chart looks. 10's above the 50, like I said. Strong close by the bears, and you know, if we do break above this 10 SMA tomorrow, we're going to continue lower. And even if we don't break above this off of the open, if we get a put cross, that could drive us higher on these contracts and get a move lower. So game plan for tomorrow is very simple. We're trending bearish, so we're only looking for plays to the downside, which would be the 0-day chart crossing on puts or 50 dip on puts after the cross happens. So it's pretty simple. If calls are for some reason are crossed tomorrow, which I don't think they will be because of that close, but if they're somehow crossed at open and they go negative, well, I would be, you know, open to taking that trade as well. So it's very simple plan going into tomorrow. We know what side has the trend, and we have a plan for both sides. If tomorrow we gap up and this chart goes negative, then most likely we're going to be playing a call cross to the upside, because this chart's going to go negative, 10's going to go below the 50. Bears aren't going to be holding this trend. That's what that would mean. And most likely we're going to continue higher because the Bears couldn't hold the trend, and we get a move in the opposite side of the premium, which would be the call side. So, at that point, you just play the 0-day cross on calls, 10 reclaim on calls, and yeah, that would be that. That's only if this chart goes negative, which means the 10 SMA goes below the 50, and we break below the 50 on this 30-minute chart. So, yeah, it's the game plan for tomorrow. Pretty simple day. I mean, there just wasn't much opportunity today. I bought the 50 dip higher risk type of trade. I got an early entry on it as well. 70-point loss is what it is. We're going to catch something tomorrow, hopefully, and bounce back from it. So that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join Discord down below. It's where all the trades are shared, all the knowledge on the systems in there, and everything you need to do well. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.